A tightrope with your money. Like one wrong step and everything could go off balance.
They're not alone.
Well, today we're diving deep into Financial Literacy 101.
And trust me, this isn't just about like balancing a checkbook.
Right. It's about making your money work for you, not against you.
Exactly. And it's interesting because only about 57% of adults are considered financially literate.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. So that means a huge chunk of people, like almost half,
Yeah.
are essentially playing this money game blindfolded.
That's a scary thought.
We're going to rip that blindfold right off today.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the why. Why is financial literacy so important?
Okay, well, let's face it. Being financially savvy, it isn't just about knowing how to budget.
No, it's not just about crunching numbers.
It's about feeling confident, in control of your financial future.
Your own life.
Exactly. And think about it. It's about being able to make those big decisions.
The big ones.
The big life decisions like buying a home or planning for retirement, but without feeling stressed or overwhelmed.
Right. Those huge life decisions that can feel so overwhelming if you don't know where to even start with the money part.
Think of it like this. Financial literacy is like having a GPS, but for your money.
Ooh, I like that.
It's about navigating, all those complexities of personal finance, but making informed decisions that are aligned with your goals.
Okay, so let's unpack all of this, starting with the foundation.
Right.
Budgeting. I actually came across this thing called the 50-30-20 rule while I was prepping for our deep dives today.
Okay.
I'm sure you're familiar.
Oh, yeah.
But for our listeners, it suggests allocating 50% of your income to needs, 30% to wants, and 20% to savings and debt repayment. So what are your thoughts on this approach? Is it too simplified, or is it a good place to start?
I think it's a great starting point.
Okay.
Especially for anyone new to budgeting.
Okay.
But, it's not necessarily a one-size-fits-all solution.
I was thinking that because everyone's situation's so different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And someone living in New York City or San Francisco or somewhere like that, a high cost of living area,
Right.
they might struggle to fit their essential expenses into 50%.
Makes sense.
The key is to find a budgeting framework that works with your specific circumstances and financial goals.
Right. So it's more about understanding those principles behind it.
Exactly.
Not so much about the specific numbers.
Yeah.
Like prioritizing your needs over your wants.
Mm-hmm.
And making sure that you're consistently setting money aside for saving and debt repayment.
Yeah, precisely. And, let's not forget about tracking expenses. Where is your money really going each month?
That's a great point.
This is where a lot of people get tripped up. They think they have a general sense, but they don't.
Right. Because those little things can add up.
Without actually meticulously tracking it, those small expenses that seem insignificant add up and they sabotage your financial goals.
Right. Like that daily latte.
Exactly.
That reminds me of actually a story I read about this guy, John,
Okay.
who discovered he was spending $150 a month on coffee.
Oh, wow.
Just grabbing a latte here and there without thinking about it.
John's coffee epiphany is a perfect example, right?
Yeah.
Those little leaks can drain our accounts over time.
They add up.
But by brewing coffee at home, he redirected that money toward building an emergency fund.
Which brings us to another crucial element of financial literacy, emergency funds.
Yes.
The sources I dug into recommend aiming for 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses,
Right.
tucked away for those just-in-case moments.
Yeah, an emergency fund is like a financial safety net. It provides a cushion when unexpected expenses arise.
Like a car repair or a medical bill.
Yeah, exactly. Or even job loss.
Or these days, who knows what could happen.
Right. It helps you avoid going into debt when life throws those curveballs.
But let's be honest. Saving can sometimes feel like an uphill battle.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips for making it a little less daunting?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
One of the most effective strategies I know is automating your savings.
Okay.
So you set up an automatic transfer from checking to savings each payday. That way, you're consistently saving without even having to think about it.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly.
It's a good one.
Another tip I have is to set realistic goals.
Yeah.
Don't try to save a year's worth of expenses overnight.
Right.
Start small, maybe like $50 or $100 a month.
Yeah.
And just gradually increase your savings rate as you become more comfortable.
Little by little.
Exactly.
Small steps, big results.
Oh,
Okay, so let's tackle another big one.
okay.
Credit and debt. I have to admit, even I get a little confused by credit scores and reports sometimes.
It's funny because it's a common misconception that credit scores are just a number.
Yeah.
But in reality, they're like a complex algorithm
Really?
that assesses your financial trustworthiness.
Oh, wow.
So lenders use it to determine your eligibility for loans and the interest rates you'll pay.
So it really affects a lot of things.
It's a big one.
Okay. So it's not just about paying your bills on time, but it's also how much of your available credit you're using.
Yeah.
How long you've had credit, and even how often you apply for new credit.
Exactly. And understanding these factors can empower you to take steps, right, to improve your credit score. For instance, did you know, like, keeping your credit utilization, the amount of credit you're using compared to your total credit limit, below 30% can significantly boost your score.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
It's one of those hidden gems, of credit management.
Ooh. That's a good tip.
That can make a big difference.
I'm going to check on that for myself later.
The research also highlighted some pretty inspiring stories of people who transformed their credit scores through consistent effort and, responsible financial behavior.
Like Maria.
Yeah, exactly.
Who we read about, who saw her score jump 100 points in just a year after she just learned about credit and started making her payments on time.
Maria's journey shows that it's never too late to turn things around.
Yeah.
It's about taking ownership of your financial situation and making those positive changes. That could lead to a brighter financial future.
Awesome. Okay, so let's dive into the D word.
Okay.
Debt. Yeah. The source material makes a distinction between good debt and bad debt.
Right.
Good debt is considered an investment in your future, like student loans or a mortgage.
Right, and bad debt typically refers to high-interest credit card balances that can quickly snowball out of control.
Oh, yeah, those are bad.
Yeah.
The key takeaway is to understand the terms of your debt and, the potential long-term impact it can have.
Yeah, exactly.
On your financial well-being.
Yeah.
And for tackling that debt, they suggest methods like the debt snowball.
Okay.
Where you pay off the smallest debt first for a psychological boost.
Yeah.
Or the debt avalanche, where you prioritize the highest interest debt to save the most money on interest charges.
I think both methods have their merits.
Okay.
And the best approach really depends on your circumstances and your, psychological motivation.
Yeah.
The key is to choose a strategy that you can stick with.
Right. Whatever works for you.
Exactly.
But before we even get to paying it off, let's talk about avoiding those debt traps in the first place.
Yes, good point.
A lot of the sources I've been reviewing warn about predatory lending practices like payday loans and rent-to-own schemes,
right,
which often target people who are already struggling financially.
Yeah, it's crucial to recognize these practices and avoid them at all costs.
Yeah, they're scary.
They often come with crazy fees and interest rates that can trap you in this cycle of debt.
Yeah, it's like you can never get out.
Right. Remember, if a loan offer seems too good to be true, it probably is.
That's a good rule of thumb.
Always read the fine print and make sure you understand the terms before you sign anything. Absolutely. Protecting yourself from predatory lending is a vital aspect of financial literacy.
Yeah, for sure.
It's about being a savvy consumer and making those informed decisions that safeguard your financial well-being.
All right, so we've covered budgeting, saving.
Yeah.
We tackled credit and debt. Now let's shift gears to something a little more exciting, saving and investing for the future.
Now we're talking.
I know, right?
Yeah, this is where things get really interesting.
I think so.
Imagine your money working for you, growing exponentially.
Yeah.
It's like planting a seed that blossoms into a mighty financial tree.
Oh, I love that analogy.
Right.
It makes it sound so much more appealing.
Yeah.
The sources I reviewed, they really emphasize the importance of starting early with investing, thanks to the magic of compound interest.
Yes.
They even gave this mind-blowing example, investing just $200 a month, starting at age 25.
Okay.
Could potentially grow to over $500,000 by retirement.
That's the power of compound interest in action.
It's amazing.
Right. Even those small, consistent contributions can lead to significant wealth over time.
Over time.
It's like that snowball rolling downhill, gathering more snow as it goes.
Yeah. I'm guessing it's not just about throwing money into any random investment, right?
No, you're absolutely right. That's where understanding those different investment vehicles comes in. The research touched on the basics, stocks, bonds, mutual funds.
Oh, yeah.
Exchange-traded funds or ETFs.
Okay.
It's a lot to take in, but we'll break it down in a way that makes sense.
Perfect. Because I think a lot of people get intimidated,
Yeah,
myself included,
it's understandable.
by the world of investing.
Hmm.
You hear all these terms thrown around, but, you don't always understand what they mean
Right.
or how they fit in to
Yeah.
your overall financial strategy.
Let's demystify it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. All right, welcome back to our deep dive into financial literacy.
It's time to put some of this knowledge into action.
Yeah.
See how it applies to your financial journey.
Right, and we've got some great listener questions lined up.
Ooh. I'm excited to tackle these.
Yeah,
See how this all plays out in
absolutely.
real world scenarios.
First up, we've got a question from Sarah,
Okay.
who asks, I'm just starting out in my career and I only have like $50 a month to spare. Is it even worth investing with such a small amount?
That's a great question, Sarah.
Hmm.
It's easy to feel like investing is only for the wealthy,
Right.
only for people with a lot of money to throw around.
But that's a common misconception.
Yeah.
Remember what we talked about earlier? It's
Yeah.
not about the size of the investment.
Right.
It's about consistency and letting compound interest
Right.
do its work over time.
So even $50 a month can grow.
Even $50 a month invested wisely can grow into a significant nest egg over the long haul.
That's good to know.
Right.
Yeah. The sources I was looking into actually highlight the rise of micro-investing apps
Oh, yeah.
like Acorns and Robinhood,
Those are great.
which make it super easy to invest small amounts.
Yeah.
Some even let you invest your spare change.
That's a great way to start.
I know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And Sarah, don't forget about the power of employer-sponsored retirement plans like a 401k.
Oh, yeah, it's a good point.
If your employer offers a matching contribution, try to at least contribute enough to get that full match.
It's free money
It's essentially free money.
added to your retirement savings.
Yes.
I wish I had known about employer matching when I was starting out.
I know a lot of people miss out on that.
Yeah, such a valuable benefit that people overlook.
Absolutely. It's an instant return on your investment.
Yeah.
It boosts your retirement savings significantly.
Okay, so our next question comes from David,
Okay.
who asks, I'm torn between paying off my student loan debt and investing for the future. What should I prioritize?
That's a classic dilemma, David.
It is.
A lot of people grapple with that.
It really is like choosing between two good options,
Right.
like investing in your future versus getting rid of that debt burden.
Exactly. Remember the concept of opportunity cost we touched on?
Mm-hmm.
Every financial decision has an alternative.
Right.
The key is to analyze which option will likely yield a higher return in the long run.
Okay, so David, what's the interest rate on your student loan?
Yeah, that's a crucial detail.
That's a good point.
If it's a high-interest loan, say above 7%, it might make sense to prioritize paying that down aggressively.
Okay.
You're essentially guaranteeing yourself a return equal to the interest rate by eliminating that debt.
That makes sense. So you're saving yourself the money that would be going towards interest.
Precisely, however, if your student loan has a relatively low interest rate, like below 4%,
Okay.
and you're comfortable with a bit of risk, investing in a diversified portfolio of stocks or index funds could potentially yield higher returns over time.
So it really boils down to weighing the interest rate on your debt against your potential investment returns and your risk tolerance.
And your risk tolerance, there's no one-size-fits-all answer.
It depends on you.
Right. The best approach depends on your individual circumstances and your financial goals.
Okay, let's move on to a scenario that many of us dream about.
Okay.
Imagine you receive a bonus at work,
All right.
or maybe you inherited some money. What's the smartest way to use those extra funds?
A windfall. This is where having a clear financial plan comes in handy. If
Yeah.
you don't have one already now, is the perfect time to create one.
Yeah.
Like a roadmap for your money,
I like that.
guiding you toward your financial destination.
Love it.
So outline your short-term and long-term goals. Do you want to pay off debt, build an emergency fund, save for a down payment on a house, and invest for retirement?
Having those goals clearly defined will help you prioritize where those extra funds should go.
Absolutely. For instance, if your top priority is paying off high-interest credit card debt, then allocating a significant portion of that windfall towards that goal might make the most sense.
Okay.
Once that debt is tackled, you can then focus on other goals like bolstering your emergency fund or investing for the future.
It's like a strategy session
Exactly.
with your money.
Exactly.
Make sure it's working hard for you.
It's not just sitting idle
Yeah.
in a checking account.
Okay. Now let's shift gears to a topic that often causes confusion.
Okay.
Sometimes even a bit of anxiety.
Right?
Retirement planning.
Yes.
Even the word retirement seems so far away.
I know.
Where do you even begin when you're just starting out in your career?
The key is to start early.
Okay.
Even if it's with small contributions, remember, the magic of compound interest works best when you have time on your side.
Time is on your side.
Yes, the sources we've been reviewing actually highlight the power of those employer-sponsored retirement plans,
Like the 401k.
like a 401k,
Yeah.
especially those with matching contributions.
Right, because it's basically free money.
It's essentially free money added to your retirement savings.
Yeah.
Even if you can only contribute a small percentage of your income initially, it's crucial to start somewhere and gradually increase those contributions as your income grows.
And it's important to remember that retirement planning isn't just about saving. It's also about managing expenses
Right.
and potentially increasing your income through side hustles or part-time work.
Excellent point.
Yeah.
It's about taking a holistic approach to your finances and exploring different avenues to boost your retirement savings.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, before we move on, we have a question from Maria who
Okay.
asks, I'm in my 40s and haven't saved much for retirement. Is it too late to catch up?
It's a good question.
Maria, it's never too late to start.
That's good to hear.
While starting earlier is always ideal,
Mm-hmm.
it's commendable that you're taking proactive steps now
Yeah.
to address your retirement savings.
Better late than never.
Exactly.
The sources I dug into actually address this scenario.
Mm-hmm.
It's about making the most of the time you have left
Right.
and maximizing your contributions.
Exactly. If your employer offers a 401k with a matching contribution, prioritize contributing enough to receive the full match.
Yeah.
It's essentially free money you're leaving on the table if you don't.
Don't leave money on the table.
Additionally, you could consider making catch-up contributions if you're eligible.
Okay.
These allow you to contribute more than the standard limit to your 401k or IRA, helping you accelerate your savings.
Okay, so those are available.
Yeah.
And don't forget about exploring other retirement savings options like IRAs.
Good point. These accounts offer tax advantages and can help you make up for lost ground.
Okay, good to know. And remember, Maria, retirement planning isn't just about saving.
Right.
It's also about managing expenses and potentially increasing your income through a side hustle or part-time work.
Excellent point. It's about taking a holistic approach to your finances and exploring different avenues to boost your retirement savings.
Okay, let's wrap up this segment with a final thought for our listeners.
All right.
No matter your age or current financial situation, remember that financial literacy is a journey, not a destination.
It's about continuously learning, seeking out resources, and adapting your financial strategies as your life circumstances change.
It's about empowering yourself
Yeah.
to make informed decisions and take control.
Take control of your financial well-being.
There are countless books, podcasts, websites, and even financial advisors
Right.
who can provide guidance and support along the way.
You don't have to navigate this alone.
You don't have to do it alone.
Nope.
Stay tuned for part 3, where we'll share some final thoughts
Yes.
and some actionable steps you can take right now to boost your financial well-being. All right. We're back for the final part
The final stretch.
of our deep dive into Financial Literacy 101.
Yeah.
It's been quite a journey.
It has been.
What has struck me is how liberating it can be
Yeah.
to just demystify these financial concepts and break them down
Absolutely.
into these manageable steps.
It's about empowering ourselves
Right.
to take control instead of feeling like our finances are controlling us.
Right. And one thing that the source material I was looking at really emphasized is that financial literacy isn't about becoming a Wall Street whiz.
Right.
It's not about memorizing complex formulas.
No, it's not about that.
It's about developing those everyday habits that over time build a solid foundation.
Exactly. Consistently setting aside a portion of your income,
Yeah.
even if it's small, for savings.
They call it paying yourself first.
Exactly. It's like making a commitment to your future self.
I like that.
Another key habit is resisting the urge to inflate your lifestyle every time your income increases.
Oh, the dreaded lifestyle inflation.
Inflation.
I'm definitely guilty of that one sometimes.
It's so easy to fall into that trap.
Yeah, keeping up with the Joneses.
It's tempting, but it can really sabotage your long-term financial goals.
For sure. So as we wrap up, what are some final actionable takeaways for our listeners?
Okay, well, if you haven't already created a budget, it doesn't have to be complicated. Just start tracking your income and expenses for a month to get a clear picture of where your money is going.
Okay.
Once you have that awareness, you can identify areas to cut back on spending and free up more cash for saving or investing.
Makes sense. The sources I was reviewing also stress the power of automation.
Absolutely. Setting up automatic transfers from your checking account to your savings account is one of the easiest and most effective ways to build that consistent saving habit.
Yeah. Just set it and forget it.
Right.
And don't forget about tackling those high-interest debts.
Oh, yeah. Those credit card balances can eat into your financial progress. Prioritize paying them down aggressively. Use methods like the debt snowball or debt avalanche.
Okay, and of course, for long-term growth, investing is key.
Yes.
Even if it's a small amount each month, starting early and staying consistent is crucial.
Absolutely explore low-cost index funds or target date retirement funds, which offer diversification and professional management.
Okay, good to know.
Makes it easier to get started.
One final thought I want to leave our listeners with is this. No matter where you are on your financial journey, it's never too late to take control.
Financial literacy is about empowering yourself to make informed choices, regardless of your age or your current situation.
It's about shaping a future where you are in the driver's seat, confidently navigating the road to financial well-being.
Well said.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Financial Literacy 101. We hope you've gained some valuable insights and feel inspired to take action. Remember, small steps taken consistently can lead to significant financial transformation. Here's to a brighter financial future for all